Hare Krishna, Mataji. Are you able to see the screen, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. I can see the screen and Mataji also. Both are visible.
Very good. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So before we start the class, let us take the blessings of the beautiful deities of Sri Sri Radha Govind Ji. Sri Sri Radha Govind Ji ki jai. Okay, so in chapter 8, we are starting. So Krishna, actually Arjuna asked some questions to Krishna, and we'll see what questions Arjuna asks, and we'll see the answers that Krishna gives to these also. So Mataji, can you please read the shloka and translation, please?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Sloka 8.1 Arjuna Uvacha Kim Tat Brahma Kimadhyatmam Kim Karma Purushottama Adhibhutam Cha Krim Proktam Adhidaivam Kimuchyate. Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Arjuna inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the self? What are fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So, here at the beginning of the chapter, Arjuna asks very fundamental questions. Like every human being will be having these questions. So he asks. So he is saying, Krishna, here you can see Arjuna is asking Krishna, he's addressing Krishna as, Oh my Lord, oh Supreme Person here. So we should understand this is very important. So Arjuna is not asking Krishna as a casual friend anymore. He's not taking him as a casual friend. So now he clearly understands that Krishna is the supreme authority and only he can give the answers. So, what is Arjuna asking here? What is Brahman? What is the self, Atma? What is karma or fruitive activity? What is this material world? Who are the demigods? Okay, so what do we understand? So, Arjuna is asking, like, in other words, like, what is Arjuna asking? So, what is spiritual? What is material? Who am I? How does this world work? Who is God? What is my connection with God? Okay, so he's asking all these questions. That's why he's asking to differentiate between spiritual and material. So Srila Prabhupada explains that these are not ordinary questions. So these questions they cover the entire science of spiritual life. So first, Brahman means what? Spirit. Okay, the supreme absolute truth is also called Brahman. So the living entity, being spirit soul, is also Brahman, but he is not the supreme Brahman. Okay, so that difference we must understand. We are also called Brahman, Krishna is also called Brahman, but we should understand that Krishna is supreme Brahman. Okay, so that difference we must understand. Then Arjuna asks about Atma. The word Atma can mean many different things depending on the context. It could be the body, the mind, or the soul. So that's why Arjuna is asking for clarity. What is Atma? So he wants to know what exactly is the real self. And next he asks about karma, fruitive activities. Why people act, why they get results, and why they get bound by those results. So he's asking about the material manifestation, this world we are living in, how it exists and how it affects us. So all these he's asking. And then again he asks about demigods also. Because in Vedic culture, there are many controllers, and Arjuna wants to understand their real position. Okay, so we know that there are many controllers, right? Each of them has their specific duty, so they control. So that is why he's asking about the demigods. Like we have sun, moon, air, fire, all those. So Srila Prabhupada points out very something very important here. See, according to the Bhagavatam, the absolute truth is realized in three features. We earlier also we discussed Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan.
Bhagavan.
So Arjuna is directly asking Bhagavan means what? Ultimate Krishna himself. So therefore, the answers he receives are perfect and complete. So we should understand that these are authoritative answers. Krishna, Bhagavan Krishna, the ultimate, he's giving the answers. He will give the answers. That's why he's asking Krishna. So this shows us the proper method of gaining knowledge. We should not speculate or guess. See, like how the Gnanis, they speculate, right? It could be like this, it could be like that, because they don't have any guru. So they, using their intelligence, they speculate. So here, Prabhupada says in the purport, we should not speculate or guess. So we should hear from the supreme person or his bona fide representative. Okay. So what do we understand? So Arjuna is trying to sincerely understand the truth. And now we see Krishna is also ready to explain everything clearly, from the soul to the supreme, from karma to pure devotion. Okay. So this is the proper beginning of spiritual life. Okay. So Arjuna is asking humbly to Krishna, who is the supreme authority. Okay. So now let's go to the second shloka and translation. Can you please read the shloka and translation, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Oh my God. 1 minute, Mataji.
Yes, ma'am.
Hare Krishna. Shloka 8.2. Adhiyajnah katham kotra kotra de, dehe asmin madhusudana प्रयाणकाले च कथं ज्ञेयोऽसि नियमात्मभिः. Hare Krishna.
Hari bol, Hari bol.
Translation: how does this Lord of sacrifice live in the body, and in which part does he live? Oh, Madhusudana. And how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so here Arjuna continues to ask further questions. So he's asking, who is the Lord of sacrifice? How does he live in the body? And how can a devotee remember you at the time of death? So earlier he asked 5 questions, and now 3 more questions he's asking. So, first, what is meant by Lord of Sacrifice? I mean, we're just trying to answer. Actually, Krishna gives the answers later. So, first, what is meant by Lord of Sacrifice? The Lord of Sacrifice means Yagna Purusha. So, in Vedic cultures, sacrifices are offered to different demigods like Indra. But Arjuna wants to know who is the actual controller, okay, of the yagnas. Even though we are offering to Indra, so Srila Prabhupada explains that although many demigods are involved in the yagna, the real lord of sacrifices is Vishnu or Krishna. All sacrifices are meant for him, for Krishna or Vishnu. So others only, remaining all demigods, even though they are offered remnants, others only work under his authority, under Krishna's authority. So then Arjuna asks, how do you live in this body? That means he's asking Krishna, how do you live in this body? So, how does the Supreme Lord stay within us? Krishna lives in everybody's heart as Paramatma, the super soul. So he's sitting beside the individual soul and he's witnessing everything, guiding us, remembering, and giving us knowledge. So, although Krishna is the supreme person, he's also very close. See, he's closer than anybody else. He's as Paramatma in our heart, sitting beside us, right? So, next comes the most important question, and we'll see most of the discussion happens on this question only. Krishna focuses more on this question. How can a devotee remember you at the time of death? Right? All of us are really, we need to know this, right? That's why we practice Krishna consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada tells that at the time of death, I mean, the time of death, it's like the final exam of our life. Whatever we have practiced throughout our life will be tested at that moment. See, at death, the body becomes weak, the mind becomes disturbed, breathing becomes difficult, and memory fails. So that's why Arjuna is asking this question. How can someone remember Krishna at such a critical moment? Okay, so Srila Prabhupada, that's why he gives a beautiful example of Maharaj Kulashekara, who is a great devotee. So, what did he pray? He prayed, my Lord, right now I'm healthy and my mind is clear. Let me die now while I can think of your lotus feet. I don't know what condition my body and mind will be at the time of death. Okay, so what does this show? This shows a very important point. See, remembrance at death depends on practice during life. If we spend our life remembering Krishna, hearing about Him, chanting His name, serving Him, then remembrance at death comes naturally. But if we neglect Krishna throughout our life and suddenly want to remember Him at the last moment, that becomes very difficult. So, Arjuna's question is very practical, it is not theoretical. So, he wants to know how can devotional service be so strong that even at death, when so much pain and disturbances are there at a time of death, the mind, how can it remember Krishna? How can we make our devotional service so strong that even at the point of death, I can remember Krishna? Okay, okay. So, what do we see? Krishna is the real Lord of sacrifice. He lives in the heart as Paramatma. Remembering, remembering him at death depends on how well we live our life now, remembering Krishna. Okay, so this is 8.2. So we see this, these are the answers that are given. Okay, 8 questions we asked, and these are the 8 answers which we discussed. Okay. So, Mataji, can you please read the third shloka and translation, please?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Shloka 8.3. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Aksharam Brahma Param Swabhavotyatmam
Paramam, Mataji, not param, paramam.
Aksharam Brahma Paramam. Okay, dot is there. Sorry. Swabhavotyat Swabhavodhyatmam Uchyate Bhudabhavod Bhavakaro Visargaha Karma Samjidaha. Hare Krishna.
Samgnitaha, Mataji,
Sam
samgnitaha.
Samnidaha. Samnidaha. Okay. Hare
Huh.
Krishna. Karma Samnidaha. Hare Krishna. Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord said, the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called the Self. Action pertaining to the development of these material bodies is called karma or putative activities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So, Here, Krishna himself answers Arjuna questions very clearly and practically. So, first, he explains what Brahman is. So, Krishna says the living entity is Brahman. That means you, the soul, are spiritual, eternal, and indestructible. So, the body changes, but the soul never changes, it never dies. Okay, so he's telling the difference between body and soul, and that you are the soul, and the soul never changes, body changes, and soul it never dies, and he's giving the qualities of the soul. Next, Krishna explains about Adhyatma, the self. Adhyatma means what? The real nature of the soul. That the soul is spiritual and meant to be conscious of God. See, when the soul understands, I am not this body, I am spirit soul. So that understanding is Adhyatma. So next, Krishna explains karma. Karma means actions that create another body, the activities or actions that we do, which creates another body. So, whatever activities we perform with material desires force us to accept another material body. It could be human, animal, demigod, or whatever, depending on our karma. So, this constant changing of bodies is called karma. Okay, and Srila Prabhupada actually in the purport he makes a very important distinction here. The living entity is Brahman, but Krishna is Parabrahman. He is the supreme Brahman. So we are spiritual, but we are never the supreme. Okay, and also in the purport, Prabhupada says the soul is described as marginal energy of the Lord. That means we can choose either to serve matter and suffer, or we can serve Krishna and we can be free, we can be liberated from this material world and go back to Krishna. So we have these two options. That's why the soul is said to be Tatastha Shakti, means marginal energy. It can be either material or spiritual. So here we can either serve Maya and suffer in this material world, or we can serve Krishna and be free, be liberated, and go back to Krishna. So when the soul thinks, I am the master, I am the enjoyer, then he's put into material consciousness. And that's why and then because of karma, he's forced to accept different bodies. See, when we do anything for ourselves, when we do any sense gratification, there is definitely karma, either bad or good karma. So, because of which we have to accept different material bodies. So, that is why sometimes the soul becomes a human, sometimes an animal, sometimes even a demigod, all according to karma. And here, Srila Prabhupada explains how Vedic sacrifices work. Okay, by performing sacrifices, a person he may go to heavenly planets, enjoy there for some time, and when the results are finished, he must come back again. See, when all his pious karma is over, he has to come back, right? He has to again come back to this material world. How does he come back? Through rain. Through rain, food grains, semen, and birth in a womb. So he comes back through rain. See, the rain falls on the crops. The crops give food grains, and the food grains are eaten person, by some person on earth. Okay, and when that food is transformed into semen of the man, and that semen is placed in the womb of the mother. So, in this way, the soul keeps coming up and he repeatedly takes birth again and again. So, this is the process. Okay, this is a cycle of karma. Okay, but now comes the most important point. A Krishna conscious person, he avoids this cycle completely. See, instead of performing sacrifices just to enjoy materially, He directly serves Krishna. So, because of that, he does not come back to this world. He goes back to Godhead. Okay, so we should not generally do just yajnas just to satisfy the demigods. So, if you do a yajna for Indra, we go to heavenly planet. But what happens? We again come back. But if we do a yajna for Krishna, we never come back to this material world. We go back to the spiritual world. So, what do we understand? What is Brahman means? We are eternal souls, and Krishna is the supreme soul. He is Para Brahman. And what is karma? Karma, it binds us to repeated birth and death. And what is the solution? Krishna consciousness frees us from that karmic cycle. So that we have to understand. Hare Krishna. So, Mataji, can you please read the fourth shloka and translation, please?
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Shloka 8.4. Adipudam ksharopavah purushachadi daivatam adhiyajñoham iva i-
Evatra.
ivatra
Ev-
dehe ivatra dehe deha pridamvara. Hare Krishna.
It is
Translation.
not, sorry, Mataji, it is not Ivatra, it is Evatra.
Ha evatra. Okay, Mataji.
Evatra, yeah.
Evatra dehe deha pridamvara. Hare
Vara.
Krishna. Translation.
Vritam Vara, Mataji, Vara.
Vara.
Yeah.
Okay, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Translation. Physical nature is known to be endlessly mutable. The universe is the cosmic form of the Supreme Lord, and I am that Lord represented as the Super Soul, dwelling in the heart of every embodied being. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, in this verse, if you see, there are three important words that Arjuna asked about. So, if you see Adi Bhuta, Adi Daiva, and Adi Yagna. Okay, so first, Adi Bhuta means this material world. So, this body and everything we see around us is constantly changing. Okay, whatever in the material world, everything is like, be it the body or objects, everything we see around us, they are changing, they're constantly changing. See, even this material body, it undergoes 6 stages. It is born, it grows, stays for some time, produces bright products, it becomes old, and finally dies. Because it is temporary and always changing, this material nature is called Adi Bhuta. Okay, so second, Adi Daiva. It refers to the demigods. Adi Bhuta means the demigods, the sun, the moon, Indra, and other demigods. And these demigods, they are not independent. They are working under the Supreme Lord's direction. Okay, so third is Adi Yagna. Okay, Krishna says here, I myself am Adi Yagna. Okay, he is present inside the heart of every living being as the super soul, Paramatma. Along with the individual soul, the super soul, he sits in the heart as a witness and a guide. And he allows the soul to desire, act, and experience the results. See, whatever, because he's sitting as Paramatma in our heart, he grants, I mean, like, he gives us permission, whatever desires that we have. So he sanctions accordingly per our karma. Okay, so nothing happens without his sanction. So Srila Prabhupada explains that the word Eva is very significant here. In the purport, Prabhupada says it means There is no difference between Krishna and the super soul. Okay, the Paramatma is not someone else, he's Krishna himself. He's present in everybody's heart. So that we have to understand. See, actually, for beginners, it is very difficult to understand. Krishna is sitting in the as Paramatma in the as Lord in the heart. Okay, so that's why for beginners, they're advised to think of the universal form. Okay, for initial people, imagining the planets as his body, the sun and moon as his eyes, and the universe as his vast form. So meditate like that. But for a pure Krishna conscious devotee, everything becomes clear naturally. The material world, the demigods, and the super soul are all understood in proper relationship with Krishna. Okay, they understand. So that's why they meditate on the personal form of Krishna. So those who can't understand or take Krishna as Paramatma or super soul or Krishna as a personal form, so they can first, as neophytes, they can accept Krishna as the universal form, thinking of everything as material, like the sun are the two eyes of Krishna, like that. So, so what are they trying to say in the shloka? The material world, it changes. Adi Bhuta, that are talking about Adi Bhuta, Adi Daiva, and Adi Yagna. So the material world changes, the demigods manage, but Krishna is Adi Yagna. He's everywhere outside as the universe. Okay, outside we can see him as the universe through his energies, and inside as the super soul. Okay, so so here we can see in an example how the caterpillar, it changes into a beautiful butterfly. So we see that it is everything in this material world, anything in this material world keeps constantly changing. So now we enter the section 2, 8.5 to 8.8, remembering Krishna at the time of death. One attains whatever one remembers at the time of death. Krishna recommends Arjuna to undeviatingly meditate on him, dedicate his activities to him, and thus attain him. So let's see how. This shloka you can memorize, Mataji, 8.5. So, Hare Krishna, can you please read this shloka and translation, Mataji? I think you're on mute, Mataji.
Yes, Madaji. What happens now? They here now. I am staying very near to the airport station, airport. So today their training is there. So much sound is coming now. So in video I am muting so I can hear you.
Okay. I can't hear
Otherwise,
any disturbance, Mataji.
huh? Pardon,
There's
Madaji?
no, no, I can't hear any sound. There's no
No, okay,
disturbance.
then it's okay, Madaji. That's why I kept it in mute because outside the training is going on Air Force.
Oh, no, I can't hear anything. Even when you're reading the shloka and translation, I can't hear any sound, Mataji.
Okay then. It's okay then, Madaji. Okay.
Yeah,
That's why I
yeah.
kept it on mute. Hare Krishna. Shloka 8.5. Andakale cha mameva smarat muktva kalevaram yaha prayadi sa matbhavam yai
Yati,
yadi nastyatra yadi
Nastyatra.
nastyatra samshayah. Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Translation, and whoever at the time of death quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, in this verse, Krishna is giving a very direct and very serious instruction. So, he's saying if a person leaves this body while remembering me alone, he's saying only me alone, he immediately attains my nature. And he's saying there is no doubt about it. So there is no maybe here. So Krishna says of this there is no doubt. So the result is guaranteed. Okay? Because whatever we remember at the time of death decides our next life. At death, the body, because it's under a lot of pain and distress, see, the body stops working, all the senses stop working, the senses fail, the mind becomes disturbed. So, Krishna is saying, if at the moment, if that at that death, a moment of death, you can remember me, okay, then your life is successful. So Srila Prabhupada explains that remembering Krishna at death, it does not happen suddenly. It is not magic. It comes from practice. See, just like if someone practices music daily, his fingers naturally move on the instrument. Okay? In the same way, if we practice remembering Krishna throughout our life, remembrance comes naturally at death. So that's why Prabhupada he stresses the word smaran. Smaran means what? Remembering. Okay, but if it's an impure mind, it cannot suddenly remember Krishna at death. See, those who don't practice, suddenly their mind is fully filled with material desires. How can he remember Krishna at the time of death? No, he can't remember. So, Krishna consciousness must be practiced from the beginning of life, not at the last moment. And how do we practice? By chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra constantly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So, what does chanting do? It cleans the heart. So, as the heart starts becoming pure, remembrance becomes natural. Okay, Srila Prabhupada also tells us about Lord Chaitanya's instruction be tolerant like a tree. See, when you're chanting, that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says you have to be tolerant, you have to tolerate. When you're chanting, there may be difficulties, there may be distractions or obstacles, but we should not stop chanting. We should continuously, sincerely, and patiently and regularly chant. Then only at the final moment of our life, at death, Krishna will come to our mind automatically. And then what happens? Obviously, if you remember Krishna, we do not return to this horrible material world. We go back to Goloka Vrindavan, where it is full of Satchit Ananda, where it is eternal, where it is full of bliss and full of knowledge. Okay, so this is a simple secret of success in our spiritual life. Just by chanting, everything changes. Okay, so let's see 8.6. Hare Krishna Mataji, can you please read the shloka and translation, please?
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Shloka 8.6. Yam yam vavi smaran bhavam tyajatyande kalevaram tam tame vaidi kaundeya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Hare
Haribol,
Krishna.
wonderful.
Translation: whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, you can memorize this shloka, Mataji. This and the previous shloka.
Yeah. Previous I have noted, Mataji. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So here, in this verse, Krishna is saying, whatever state of mind a person remembers at the time of leaving the body, that state he will surely attain next. So this means our last thought decides our next destination. See, just like throughout the day, whatever we do, that is what we remember in the night when we sleep. Right? So, in the same way, the thoughts we carry throughout our life, they come up to the surface at the time of death. See, whatever we put in, that is what comes out, right? So, Srila Prabhupada, he gives an example of Jada Bharat, we see in the PPT, right? He was a great advanced devotee, but at the near end of his life, he became emotionally attached to a deer. So, at death, he remembered the deer and he became a deer in his next life. So, this shows how nature is very strict and very perfect, right? So we should understand. Actually, Bharat Maharaj, he was on the stage of bhava. So imagine, even a devotee who was in the stage of bhava, because of his change in consciousness, he remembered the deer, he became a deer in his next birth. So even a small attachment can influence the next life. Okay, so this verse teaches us an important point. So death is not the time to practice remembrance. Generally people think all the time in the when I will do all material activities throughout my life, and in the end at the time of death I will say Krishna's name or Lord Rama's name. So that is not possible at all. It is highly impossible. You cannot remember. Okay, so that's why they're saying this important point. See that death is not the time to practice. At the time of death, you can't remember. That's not the time to do smaran. But throughout the whole life, you have to practice. See, whatever we think about most during life, that becomes our natural thought at death. See, at the time of death, our whole life, it's like a reel. We see whatever we are attached to, that is what we remember. Okay, so if someone becomes attached to wealth or relationships or fear or anger or material desires, those thoughts will come at the final moment. If you're attached to your family members, your son or daughter or husband or parents, they will only come in your mind at that time. Or if you're attached to money, property, or whatever, so they will only come into your mind at the final moment. But if someone lives remembering Krishna, serving Krishna, hearing about Krishna, chanting Krishna's name throughout his life, then Krishna naturally comes to his mind at death. Okay? So if you remember an ordinary thing, we get an ordinary body. But if we remember Krishna, we don't get a material body at all. We get a spiritual nature. We get a spiritual body which is free from birth, death, old age, and suffering. So that's why Prabhupada, he strongly says chanting Hare Krishna is the best process. Chanting, it gradually cleans the mind, it reduces material attachments and trains the mind to run towards Krishna naturally. So please understand. Try to don't try to understand. I mean, like the shloka is not to frighten us. Okay, it is just to guide us. So it tells that live in such a way that remembering Krishna becomes natural. Okay, then success at the time of death is guaranteed. So it is sure you will be able to remember Krishna. Okay. Okay. So, can you please read Shloka 7 and the translation, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji, yes. Shloka, Hare Krishna, Shloka 8.7. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu manusmara yudhyacha mayyar abita manobuddhir ma me vaishyasya samshayah. Hare Krishna.
Haribol. Wonderful, Mataji.
Translation. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, Krishna is telling Arjuna, you do your duty. but at the same time, remember me. Always remember me. See, Krishna is not saying stop your work, leave everything, and sit in one place and meditate and do all that. No. See, Arjuna was a warrior. His duty was to fight, right? So, Krishna, he did not change Arjuna's occupation, he changed Arjuna's consciousness. So, this is very important. See, everyone, all of us have duties like family duties, job duties, responsibilities in society. So, Krishna consciousness does not mean running away from all these responsibilities and duties. See, it just means connecting all these, just you add Krishna to your life, that's all. So, Krishna is saying, keep your activities dedicated to me, keep your mind and intelligence fixed on me. See, you do your duty, but keep your mind and intelligence fixed on me. So, how is that possible? So, Srila Prabhupada, he explains it very simply. How? By chanting Hare Krishna. By doing our work, if we chant here and remember Krishna, see, maybe we are cooking in the kitchen. So, what harm is there if we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, we are doing our material duties anyway. At the same time, our mind is on Krishna. So, by chanting like that, the mind becomes purified and it gradually stays with Krishna. See, for example, it's just like a person, he may be working at his office, but he thinks of his home. Oh, I have to bring this, I have to do that. So maybe he's working at his office, but still he's thinking of his home. Or like a mother who may be working at office, but is thinking of her child. Oh, has my child come back home? Must like she'll be thinking about her child. So like that. Similarly, in the same way, a devotee is working, he's doing his duties, but at the same time, he remembers Krishna. Okay, so that's why this verse basically teaches us balance in life. Don't. It's not like stopping work. It's not like Krishna is saying accept renunciation, go to the forest and meditate. No, he's saying don't leave your responsibilities, do your duties, but add